Hello guys, so in this video I will start with unit 3, historical evolution of Indian legal system, and in this unit we will start from chapter 1 today, that is ancient Indian law. Now let's read what it's given in the box to understand the significance of justice. By far everybody, I guess, who is watching this video, everybody must know what justice is, what this word tries to deliver, and what is the significance of justice in daily life or as part of somebody who is stuck in a problem. So let's read what this story tells about. One day, Emperor Akbar asked people what he could choose if he were given a choice between justice and a gold coin. So, you see what the choices are between justice and a gold coin. The gold coin, said people. Akbar was taken aback. You would prefer a gold coin to justice? He asked. Yes, said people. The other courtiers were amazed by Bibal's display of idiocy. Means Bibal was supposed to be a very intelligent man in the court of Akbar, the most intelligent of all the courtiers of that time. And when he said that I will be choosing a gold coin over justice, everybody was shocked to see, and everybody was shocked by this act of Bibal. They thought that, oh, he's such an idiot person. For years, they had been trying to discredit Bibal in Emperor's eyes, to lower the reputation of Bibal, because Bibal was supposed to be a sort of favorite of Akbar. So to bring his reputation a little down in the eyes of Akbar, but they were not getting success in doing that. I would have been dismayed if even the lowest of my servants had said this. But coming from you, it's shocking and sad. I did not know you were so depressed. One asks for what one does not have, your majesty. Now Bibal is saying that any person will long for a thing that he is not having. The things that he is having, why would he want that in extra? So you will be demanding for an article which you don't have at present. You have seen to it that in our country, justice is available to everybody. So, as justice is already available to me, and as I'm always short of money, so I said I would choose the gold coin. So, justice is something which I am having right now. What I don't have is money, and gold coin is it has some monetary value. It is associated with sort of currency or money. So, I will be choosing the thing that I don't have, that is money. Emperor was so pleased with his reply that he gave him not one but 1,000 gold coins. That's a different thing. Now, law in India has evolved from customs. Now, we saw in previous chapters that how customs can be categorized, or what happens when customs can be brought into the category of law, or how customs can be converted into law. Some long run customs can be classified as law. So law has developed from various cultures or customs or traditions that people were practicing, their mindset, the problems that they were facing. So with all these things, they came up with legislations that was required at that particular spans of time, and religious prescriptions to the current constitutional and legal system we have today, thereby traversing through secular legal systems and the common law. This chapter briefly describes the evolution of ancient Indian law. So, in this chapter, you will see about ancient Indian law. One thing more, religious prescription, there is Hindu law, there is Muslim law. So on the basis of religion also, there are some legislations, or that is obviously on the basis of their own customs or traditions, that they had made their own rule book. India has a recorded legal history starting from Vedic ages. It is believed that ancient India had some sort of legal system in place even during the Bronze Age and Indus Valley civilization. So you see, when the early human beings or when the civilization has just begun, Bronze Age, Stone Age, at that time also, there was some or the other type of legal system which was prevalent at that time. Law as a matter of religious prescriptions and philosophical discourse has an illustrious history. Emanating from Vedas means starting or coming out from Vedas, Upanishads, and other religious texts. It was a fertile field enriched by practitioners from different Hindu philosophical schools and later by Jains and Buddhists. So, Vedas, Upanishads, these are some religious scriptures or texts or in the Hindu religion, as per the Hindu religion. So all those things, all the customs or traditions which were mentioned in these religious books, from there came a legal system of that time. And if those things have not become obsolete till now, then they would be prevalent today also. And so it was a fertile field, means somewhere now it was prone to have some changes or like sort of amending or adding new things, or it was something which grew. Fertile field में crops grow करती है ना, so it was something which grew with time. And there were Hindu philosophical schools or scholars who wrote over this, who brought new legal provisions or legislations out of these religious texts that we were having. And then this system of making laws or providing laws from the religious text was brought about, and it was later on joined also by the other two sect people, Jains and Buddhists. Secular law varied widely from region to region and ruler to ruler. Court systems for civil and criminal matters were essential features of many ruling dynasties of ancient India. Earlier, there were courts, there were rajas, maharajas, they had their own court, and the people came to the courts of Raja for justice. So they demanded, there was no judiciary as such as a separate organ. There were various provinces, and each provision has its own ruler or the king. जिसको भी कोई प्रॉब्लम होती थी वो किंग के कोर्ट में जाता था, जिसको कहते हैं दरबार. तो यही सब होता था पहले. फ्रॉम रीजन टू रीजन, फ्रॉम द माइंड सेट, फ्रॉम द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ रूलर टू रूलर, it varied that how justice would be delivered or what laws. Laws were also different from region to region, depending upon that what the law has come out as per the ruling of that king was in that province. Excellent secular court systems existed under Mauryas and Mughals. So, excellent legal systems were during the regime of Mauryas and the Mughals. This section begins with idea of Hindu law and traces its origin through ancient legal literature. The section also describes evolution of Hindi law during British rule as well as modern times to conceptualize ancient Indian law in relation with modern law. Means they are doing a comparison. Hindu law, how it was before the British rule, how it grew during the British era, and in the modern time, what is its status, that all we will talk about in this unit. Islamic law became relevant in India during the medieval period or Middle Ages, especially with advent of Mughal Empire. So Mughal Empire, basically they brought the Islam religion into India. So that's why Islamic law, if I talk about, it grew mainly in the Mughal era. And Hindu law was since those Indus Valley civilizations, and it grew during the British rule. It was the most prominent and excellent feature during the reigns of Mauryas. Now, since the focus of this section is on ancient Indian law, a brief subsection has been provided. Let's leave this and directly we will start from Hindu law. Word Hindu used to be an ethnic label and not a religious one. First, the Persians and then Greeks used the expression Hindu to refer to the ethnic group of people or Indians, and in 13th century the word Hindu was more widely used to distinguish them from Islamic kingdoms within India. Now, as I told you, there were provinces in India before independence, and each province had its own ruler or the king or queen whatsoever. So, and it may happen that in some places the Islamic rulers were ruling over the land, and in some places Hindus were ruling. So, Hindu term was first used as an ethnicity to declare the people, to declare some set of people as an ethnic group and to differentiate them from others, and it was used firstly by the Persians. Remember, this word first of all was used by Persians and then by the Greeks. And then when in the 13th century Hindu was used to distinguish the people, this group of people, from the Islamic kingdoms. Later on, the expression Hinduism was used during the British rule in 19th century to refer to Hindu religious culture group as distinct from Christianity and Islam. Now, till the time Britishers had arrived into India, there was Christianity also and Islam also that had came to India. So now Hindu was taken to be as a separate religion and cultural group that was very different from Christians and Muslims. Ever since, Hinduism has largely developed as a term that embraces varied beliefs, practices, and religious traditions among the Hindus that have common historical formations, including philosophical basis. So, Hindu, since that British era, it is still now treated as a separate religious group in which we have different caste or different sects people, and all of those follow their own different beliefs, culture, traditions. They have common historical formation, they have same common historical origin, but because of their own caste or sects within Hinduism only, and they also practice different beliefs and traditions. Now, given the historical basis, Hindu law has had varied understandings. In ethnic Indian context, some have understood Hindu law to include diverse laws prevalent in India from ancient Vedic times till 1772, when British adopted rules for administration of justice in Bengal. That means Hindu till that time has various contextual meanings, and everybody understood this term or this theory as a different concept of its own. In the ethnic context, Hindu was something, or Hindu law was to include different laws which were prevalent since the ancient Vedic times until 1772, because in 1772 now British began making rules or adopting rules, enforcing rules, so that for better administration in Bengal. Some have used it to distinguish this from Islamic legal system that existed in parts of India annexed by Muslim Mughal empires between 13th and 16th centuries, as well as British legal system from 1772 onwards. So when Britishers started adopting or making rules for administration of Bengal, it was not only that they will only be restricted to that area. They will make and implement rules in all over India once and for all. So British legal system began from 1772 onwards, and when Mughals came into India, they brought their own religion, obviously, that was Islam. And so this religion came into India. So now it was the need that the inherent people who were living in the country, now they had to distinguish their religion, their legal system from the other two religious groups and the other set of British legal system. They had to separate them. So for that, then they made their own rule book. others have categorized Hindu law as being applicable only to those communities that were subjected to it, while others followed their own diverse customary laws. So, any person who will come under the Hindu category, any person who will be categorized in the category of Hindu will follow the rules that were written in that rule book in the Hindu law, and others will follow their own customs. At that time, legislations were not as it is today. So there at that time, customs were considered to be very important. Religious sects and religious customs, traditions were considered to be the extreme and supreme body. They were considered very important. So those who will not follow under the Hindu category, they will follow their own customs. That was the concept at that time. Hindu law can be primarily divided into three categories: classical Hindu law, Anglo-Hindu law, modern Hindu law. These three also have an historic context. Classical Hindu law includes diverse legal practices connected with Vedic tradition, since some ways and existing from Vedic ages till 1772, when British adopted rules for administration of justice in Bengal. So classical is something old, right? So classical Hindu law, those legal practices that were started or that were followed in the Vedic time or the Vedic traditions, and that were also prevalent from the Vedic age till 1772, because then onwards those Britishers started making their own rules for India. Anglo-Hindu law was evolved from classical Hindu law during British rule from 1772 to 1947. Anglo-Hindu law, before Britishers made their law classical. After Britishers made their rule, that means during the British era, whatever rules were made derived from classical Hindu law, reference was classical Hindu law. So referring that, they made new laws or they made some changes as per the need of the time, and so that was from 1772 to 1947. Then the British adopted modern law or English legal system and replaced existing Indian laws except for family or personal laws in matters such as marriage, inheritance, succession of property. Family law or personal law applicable to Hindus is the modern Hindu law. So now modern Hindu law is something which Britishers made. Britishers replaced the existing Indian laws because Hindus were only living mostly at a majority in India. Islam came with Mughals, Christianity came with Britishers actually. So Hindus were the majority people who were living in India before all these religions came. So Britishers adopted the modern law and they replaced existing Indian legal systems except for the rules which were or the customs which were related to marriage, inheritance in Hindus at that time. उसको उन्होंने टच नहीं किया. बाकी जो एग्जिस्टिंग चीज़ें थी, लॉस थी, उनको अपने हिसाब से उन्होंने चेंज किया. And family law or personal law which was applicable to Hindus is modern Hindu law. See, बाकी चीज़ें तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने चेंज कर दी ना, तो वो तो ब्रिटिशर्स के बनाया हुआ लॉ हो गया. हिंदू लॉ जो हिंदूज़ ने बनाया तो वो थी मैरिजेस, इनहेरिटेंस और फैमिली रिलेटेड मैटर्स, जिसको ब्रिटिशर्स ने टच नहीं किया था. फ्रॉम क्लासिकल हिंदू लॉ वी विल कंटिन्यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो.